Let's keep this going. Beetlejuice. This sequel, long anticipated, long talked about, long rumored Beetlejuice sequel is here. Some almost 30 years, maybe even longer, over 30 years at this point. It's coming and it's here. And we have a trailer for it. I have not seen any of the trailers that have dropped so far. So let's give this one a look.
It's really extraordinary.
When you're all driving carpool and banging your Pilates instructors to fill the empty voids in your life, we'll see who gets the last laugh. My mom grew up here, that old house on the hill.
Wait, the ghost house? Is your mom Lydia Dietz?
Unfortunately.
So, what's her name? I always be forgetting her name. Jenna Ortega, who is kind of cinema's it girl, you could say, is definitely getting a major push among Hollywood and just the industry in general as being the next rising young actor star. And honestly, she's kind of getting the same push that Winona Ryder had. She has kind of this different aesthetic than the general kind of lead girl in Hollywood, and she's like almost alternative like kind of star at this moment, and like she's definitely riding that wave. And she also kind of has similar looks to Winona Ryder, so I think overall it is a pretty solid casting in terms of like a daughter for her, because they do have similar aesthetic and appeal, especially with audiences. And seeing as she was also in Tim Burton's Wendy's series, it's not really a surprise. He likes to work with the same people a lot, and it's not really a surprise if you kind of get this role. But I don't know, how do you guys feel about her in terms of like next big star in Hollywood? Like outside of Wendy, I haven't really seen I think it's called Wendy, whatever it's called, but I really haven't seen much from her in terms of film. But I know that she has popped up more than a few times and has been definitely getting a lot of buzz, especially amongst like young Hollywood stars. So let me know. I said Wednesday. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about her in terms of like actual acting ability.
She's a legend.
The living, the dead. Can they coexist?
It's also dope to see kind of Winona Ryder and Michael Keaton kind of getting their love and just dues later on in their careers once again, considering like they were such a big part of like that 90s, late 80s kind of push. And then it kind of disappeared. And then they're starting to get a pop up, getting like really recognition for their ability and appeal as actors. And like, especially Winona Ryder, who has had many ups and downs throughout her career and personal life. And like to see her kind of getting this love and admiration. And Michael Keaton specifically is dope.
Now's my chance.
Ghosts aren't real. Only gullible people believe that kind of crap.
I can't believe I'm doing this. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. I need you to help me save my daughter. But how do I know that you're going to keep your word?
I swear on my dead mother's soul. Yes. Bob, you and the boys stand guard. Nobody gets through. Let's go.
I mean, at least Michael Keaton is back reprising his role as Beetlejuice. I mean, one thing I was worried about is that they would kind of recast him. If there's any role that he was absolutely made to play, it is Beetlejuice. I cannot imagine anybody else trying to reprise that role or kind of interpret it in any different way. Michael Keaton is Beetlejuice, and if you could not get him to come back and be Beetlejuice, they shouldn't have made him. So I'm glad at the least they got him to come back and reprise his role, and also Winona, like, because I don't really like reboots or sequels that do not have the original characters. There's a reason why they were so iconic. It wasn't just the character, it was the people portraying them. So like getting him is a win. At least so far, it's a win that you can chalk up as being like potentially a good sign of this being worth a watch.
Honey.
Recognize this puss?
Never seen that chick before in my life. Or afterlife.
Are you doing this?
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
I'm needed upstairs. Bob, hold down the fort. Spill your guts. Who wants to go first? All right, I will. See, I'm willing to do the work.
Where the afterlife is so random.
You're that thing from my dream.
Really more nightmare material.
Confronting the unknown, conquering your fears. There's nothing harder.
What the f? Thank you all for coming to this special occasion, but right now with like a little privacy.
I mean, look, I'm gonna remain cautiously optimistic that it can kind of continue to deliver on all of the notes and highs and like appeal of the first one. I am not a big fan of kind of reboots 30 something years later, or like sequels 30 something years later. They just don't work out. They just don't work out. Those movies were a very specific point in time and a very specific audience and very specific part of culture. So like to kind of recreate that so many years later and capture that same sort of magic is very hard to do. So I'm cautiously optimistic that they'll be able to do this. I'm not sure that it will ultimately kind of live up to the extreme hype that it has. But Tim Burton is pretty good of a director and a filmmaker that I think he could do this justice. Like if anybody could do it, I believe that he could do it. And it is dope to see them kind of get the old gang back together. Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, Captain O'Hara, and others. So like at least the casting is strong. Story-wise, we'll see. Not sure. But ultimately, will they be able to capture the same sort of magic in a bottle that they had with the first one? Remains to be seen. But optimistic, cautiously optimistic